The revolution of now is called GPT. Within the blink of an eye, people worldwide are getting in their hands what they need and are looking for. AI is influencing people around us, and don't you want to know how this AI giant got into our life and how it evolved from version 1 to version 5? That was an amazing journey. Through its GPT models, OpenAI has achieved substantial advancements in natural language processing, NLP. These models have been at the forefront of AI-generated content creation from GPT-1 through GPT-4, producing anything from prose and poetry to chatbots and code. Natural language processing models were trained on a significant quantity of annotated data for a prior GPT-1 specific task. Consequently, the model was restricted to the activities for which it had been taught and could not complete tasks outside of its comfort zone. OpenAI advocated using unlabeled data to create the generative language model GPT-1, which users could modify to do downstream tasks like categorization, question answering, sentiment analysis, etc. Let's clear up some confusion regarding what GPT is. Machine learning models called Generative Pre-trained Transformers, or GPTs, are utilized for natural language processing tasks. To produce contextually relevant and semantically consistent language, these models are pre-trained on vast quantities of data, including books and web pages. GPTs, to put it simply, are computer programs that, without explicit programming, can produce texts that resemble that of humans. They may therefore be tailored for various NLP tasks, such as question answering, language translation, and text summarization. Why then are GPTs significant? GPTs are a huge advancement in natural language processing that enable machines to comprehend and produce language with previously unheard of fluency and accuracy. GPT-1. In 2018, OpenAI unveiled GPT-1, their initial language model iteration based on the transformer architecture. It considerably outperformed earlier state-of-the-art language models with 117 million parameters. When given a prompt or context, the GPT-1 produced fluent, intelligible English, one of its strengths. The Common Crawl dataset, a sizable dataset of web pages with billions of words, and the Book Corpus dataset, a collection of over 11,000 books on various topics, were combined to train the model. GPT-2. As a follow-up to GPT-1, OpenAI launched GPT-2 in 2019. Its astonishing 1.5 billion parameter count made it far bigger than GPT-1. By merging data from Common Crawl and web text, a significantly bigger and more varied dataset was used to train the model. The capacity of GPT-2 to produce cohesive and lifelike text sequences was one of its strengths. It could also produce replies that resembled those of a person, making it a useful tool for a range of natural language processing activities, including translating and creating content. GPT-3. With GPT-3 in 2020, natural language processing models advanced exponentially. GPT-3 is more than 100 times larger than GPT-1 and more than 10 times larger than GPT-2 with 175 billion parameters. With one exception, GPT-3 could produce text virtually indistinguishable from human writing. A chatbot's ability to properly follow instructions is one of its important features. Even if GPT-3 can do amazing things, it still has drawbacks. For instance, the model may provide biased, erroneous, or unsuitable responses. Because GPT-3 is trained on vast quantities of text that might contain biased or erroneous information, this problem exists. Additionally, there are times when the model responds with completely unrelated text to a request, demonstrating that it still has trouble comprehending context and prior knowledge. Describe GPT 3.5. The GPT 3.5 model is essentially a refined version of the GPT-3 Generative Pre-trained Transformer, Chat GPT-4. The most recent update from OpenAI, the Chat GPT-4 Natural Language Processing System, has completely revolutionized the IT sector. If you're unfamiliar with it, this is your chance to discover what it is and why it's so fantastic. Incorporating human input into the machine learning algorithms, this model then modifies its behavior. The numerous ways that this human input is gathered can either penalize or praise the model's impotent acts. The idea is to enhance machine learning's overall performance by incorporating human knowledge and skills. GPT-4 has been optimized to comprehend complicated patterns in natural language and create extremely sophisticated text outputs using cutting-edge machine learning algorithms, capable of managing and creating more input and output. Although Chat GPT-3 is an amazing language model, its word count is restricted to a maximum of 3,000 for both input and output, with a startling maximum word count of 25,000 for both input and output. Chat GPT-4 is stepping it up to a whole new level. This increases the model's capacity to perform more complicated tasks and deliver better output outcomes by allowing for the inclusion of more parameters and prompts as input. More precision and accuracy. As previously said, we anticipate that GPT-4 was trained on a bigger dataset, which would further amplify the breadth of this language model. As a result, you may anticipate significantly greater output accuracy and less hallucinated data. And coupled with the potential for larger inputs, which we will cover in more detail in a minute, this technology has a greater capacity to perform difficult jobs dependably and innovatively. Increased capacity for input and output. As previously indicated, ChatGPT-4 has a word count restriction over 8 times larger than its forerunner. This is crucial because GPT-4 can handle significantly more complicated and nuanced inputs thanks to the combination of the quantity of data that this model is trained on. Text and images can both be contributed as input. The news that GPT-4 will be a multimodal model was perhaps the characteristic that sparked the greatest enthusiasm. This opens up many opportunities because text and images may be provided as input. OpenAI performed several experiments that entailed replicating examinations using human-designed questions to compare these distinctions. They utilized the most recent and currently publicly available tests, including paid practice examinations made available for the 2022-2023 academic year, the AP free answer questions, and Olympiads. The test findings clearly distinguished between the two models. For instance, GPT 3.5 performed in the lowest 10% of test takers during the bar exam simulation, but GPT-4 performed in the top 10%. Less stuff that is prohibited and more truthful responses. Prioritizing safety and ethics in model construction is becoming more crucial as the usage of AI language models expands. OpenAI included a safety reward signal to lessen negative outcomes during the reinforcement learning with human feedback (RLHF) training. This is how the revolution is evolving and taking humans in hand. Here we have seen the positive effects of ChatGPT, but this is scaring so many people, even about losing their jobs. So we must wait and watch what they will bring to the plate as the years go on. Here we are winding up, and stay tuned for more crazy updates.